Daniel likes big challenges, even those that overwhelm him. When he decided to ride a bike from Sydney to Szczecin, he had no idea how much time, money, and sacrifices this idea would cost him. And it cost him a lot. He miscalculated almost every aspect. Although he collected material for more than one book, so far he finished only the first one. This is a unique story about the implementation of a monstrous dream, about fear and courage, about lost love, about brotherhood and adventures in hard-to-reach corners that divide Sydney from Daniel's native city of Szczecin. As he put it, this is the work of his life. He is currently looking for a publisher who will help him share his story with as many readers as possible.
Hello and welcome to Poland Daily Culture. I'm John Carter. And on today's episode, we're joined by traveller, adventurer, cyclist Daniel Kocuj. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning.
So, Daniel, we'll start off by introducing the fact that you have been riding a bicycle from Sydney, Australia to Szczecin, Poland.
That's right.
Maybe talking about the actual bike itself then. Can you tell us a little bit of something about why you chose to, the equipment and the tools and how you built it and what is that bike?
Okay, so I believe, I have a philosophy that simple solutions lead to simple breakdowns and simple repairs. So the more complicated gear you have, the easier it is to break and harder to repair, right? So it's best to avoid anything that can break. For example, disc brakes on your bike or suspension can break first. So I wanted a bike that is very simple and it can endure a lot and can carry a lot of weight, right? Because I have to carry all this stuff, and sometimes, like in Australia, I have to carry additional water, 18 liters or so. So the bike has to withstand that. You need to have really strong wheels with a lot of spokes, more spokes than a usual bike, rims that can go on the off-road and can withstand rocks, and you need frame that is very strong but also has some elasticity to it. Has a little bit elastic, so you have this natural suspension. Yeah?
I see. All right, just kind of changing gears slightly. See what I did there? Can you tell us something about the highs and lows of the trip? You know, I'm guessing it's a trip kind of with all sorts of highs and lows to it. Tell us a couple of stories, perhaps?
Sure. The low parts, this journey like this is pretty much based on the kindness of people of whom the lands I come to cross, right? So if people, it's only because the people are kind and welcoming and ready to help that people like me are able to do something like that. If everyone was hostile and unfriendly, it would be a very much different journey. So I guess the lows of the journey is when this is reversed, when suddenly it turns out that somewhere people are not willing to help. And it's at the point where you're lying on the side of the road trying to get up for a few hours and no one comes to help you, although everyone sees you. But that's just one day, few hours. It's not like that all the time, but it's something that you remember and something that changes you, right? The highs of the trip is the exact opposite, is when people say, you're not my friend, you're my family. Stay in my house as long as you want. And, treat you, not just say it, but actually treat you like family.
Well, we're acting like we haven't changed.
Can you tell us something about the contrast between the different people in different countries? And even maybe you can relate that back to Poles here in Poland.
Okay. So I guess the biggest contrast was when I crossed the border between Myanmar and India. This border is very fragile. They close it and open it all the time because many people die on both sides. So I was lucky enough to cross that border, and then they just close it after I crossed it. And people in Myanmar are amazing. They are so kind. If you ask someone, you know, could you rip your heart out and give it to me, they will do it. But and they always look at you. You cross that border and you get to India, and people don't look as much as you anymore. People look at your bicycle, and they start asking you directly for money. And although even if they don't really need it, like you can see that, hey, okay, maybe they are not wealthy and they are not doing very well, but the kids are eating, the kids go to school, the kids have computers in the school. You've seen worse, you know? And you just think to yourself, a second ago I was in Myanmar, where people are so humble that they will never ask you, even if they were, you know, dying out of hunger, they wouldn't ask you. Whereas you get to India and people just see you for the wealth that you represent with the color of your skin, and they raise their hand asking for money.
Thank you very much for joining us on
Thank
Poland
you.
Daily Culture.
It was a pleasure to be here.
Excellent. So we'll be back same time tomorrow on Poland Daily Culture. I'm John Carter. See you next time.